Hi guys, hello and welcome back to another video right here on the channel. So Mel, it's the 1st of April, 1st of the month means only one thing.
Streetfighter.
Streetfighter. Okay guys, so we've got an interesting little cast for you to meet in this box. And we are up to, it's issue 35, 36, 37 and 38. So we're nearly 40 issues in.
Wow.
To what's been a really enjoyable series, hasn't it? Okay guys, so anyone new here briefly, we get a magazine and we get a corresponding figure, okay? These are on a monthly subscription from Fanhome, okay? So we took the whole subscription out and we're just showing them and going through them, okay? So let's start then, Mel. This is Yun, issue 35, okay? Should we find out about Yun and see what's going on? Okay, so Yun, the White Dragon, a young Chinese martial arts expert. Yun is the oldest of the Lee twins. He has energetic, outgoing character and is usually impulsive when making decisions, but he's always inspired by his desire to help others and do what he thinks is best for his community. Okay, so there is Yun. Okay, so he says, I can see why you've lost. You haven't had fun during the fight. You have to enjoy the combats. Not really sure I would there, to be honest, but can we see somebody that we know here?
Yep.
Okay. Don't tell me it's Yunli and Chunli.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Okay, see Chunna's in there. Okay, so let's find out. I really don't know. So, say he's one of the twins. Yeah, so let's have a peep. Okay, did you know, young and fast, Yun made his debut in Streetfighter 3, The New Generations of 1997, providing new blood to the irresistible franchise. Okay, so his profile, 9th of September for his date of birth, Hong Kong, place of birth, height 1.73 metres, weight 62 kilograms, and as I say, we just said there, the first appeared in Street Fighter 3, The New Generation. It says Dragon style, Yun dresses similar to his brother Yang, but the blue cap and long braid are his trademarks. Okay, so showing a little bit more of Yun there in action. Okay. Techniques and abilities. Okay, so it says, here we go again. Every episode, doesn't it, with the Japanese text. Okay, so his main technique is called a Teizun Zanko, which is the Clash of the Gale. The Yuhu is the lifting attack. Zeisu Hohu, the Dragon Jump, and Sorai Rengeki, which is surfing the air. Okay, there we go. So he's a bit of a cool looking dude, isn't he? This guy.
He is.
Yeah. Could be quite an interesting character to play. It says, exerting pressure with Yun is easy thanks to his speed and movement. So he's going to be one of those characters who's more fast, he's faster, but maybe his strikes aren't as hard. You know, like whereas like an Eddie is like slower, but he's a lot tougher. Okay, so there's his poster there. He's on a skateboard. Very Jet Set Radio to me, for any of you Dreamcast or arcade fans out there. I don't know why, I think it might just be the whole motion thing with him on the skateboard. Okay, The Legend of Street Fighter. So, Street Fighter, The Ultimate Battle. The first film adaptation of Street Fighter. Yeah, that's the one. Sorry, excuse me. That's the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme. We said about the Street Fighter movie. It's been referenced several times, hasn't it? The Street Fighter movie made many changes to the storyline of the game and it's big at the box office. Not really sure about that, but there you go. So there's Jean-Claude Van Damme there. Okay. And a couple of screenshots from the film. I mean, you know, it's always interesting. It's all part of the Street Fighter canon, isn't it, really? Yeah. Okay, so The Legend of Street Fighter, Fighting Monsters, the Dark Stalkers franchise. The popularity of Street Fighter 3 drew Capcom to focus on expanding the game during the following years with a series of updates, until it was time to look a bit further afield with the battles fought by Ryu and company. Okay, so it's going into the Dark Stalkers franchise. Again, it looks like it's just like another series of 2D fighters. You know, an expansion of the Street Fighter franchise. I mean, I've got to be honest, I've heard of the Dark Stalkers name, but I've never, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, massive retro gamer, but you don't know everything, do you?
No.
You know, the history of Capcom. Sorry guys, this is normally a 2-page feature, I just flicked it over, it's like the last page, so obviously shortening that content. Capcom committed. It's a Fight franchise with several sequels, so we can just see there some of these, one of them being Darkstalkers 3 on the original PlayStation. There you go. Any of you guys played Darkstalkers, the Darkstalkers games, maybe Justin or someone like that, maybe likes the fighting games? Let me know. Okay, and there is another little sketch of Yun, and Mel is now going to show you the figure. Okay guys, so as usual with these episodes, there will be a turntable at the end to let you have a proper look at the figures, to just save taking them out the box and try to present them Funko style. Okay, so issue 36 is Elena, or Elena. Okay, I think it is more Elena. Hey ho, let me know below. Elena. Elena, the African warrior, a vivacious young Papira expert. Elena lived a peaceful life in Kenya, being a regional leader's daughter. She had a great sense of responsibility. She was a diligent student and a very skilled Kapira practitioner. Okay, that's obviously the name of martial arts. Try to smile more like me. Smile and all your problems will go floating into the wind. What a nice thought. Okay, there she is there. Okay. So it's nice to see like an actual, you know, another continent, the African continent represented. Represented. Okay. So it says, the natural wonders that can surround us can restore your spirit, relax and clear your mind. Okay, so maybe she's like a little bit of a yogi or yoga. Did you know, opening borders, Elena made her debut as a member of the revolutionary squad of Streetfighter 3, the new generation. That was the same as our friend Yun before, wasn't it? Okay, so a lot of them in September, isn't it? Date of birth, 18th of September. Birthplace, can't even get my words out today, Kenya. Height, 1.83 metres, 52 kilograms in weight. Says African style. Elena has a striking appearance with her silver hair, her height and her strong, long legs. Okay, so there we see Our Lady being rather, should we say, flexible there?
I'd like to be that flexible.
I'd like you to be that flexible. Okay. Techniques and abilities. The fighting dance. Elena's long legs, behave Wayne, make the reach of her strikes very significant. Okay, so her main technique is the rhino horn, which is a frontal attack. Healing, natural healing, is one of her techniques. The scratch wheel, which is an upward turn, and the brave dance, which is the devastating wind. So she is going to be like one of those real, like, I was about to say Chun-Li, but you know, one of those real sort of like acrobatic type of fighters.
Yeah.
Really, really quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing her.
Yeah. Yeah, she does look like a really good fighter, doesn't she? And there she is again. Her poster. Elena there. We'll say doing some kind of like handstand or whatever that may be. But yeah, very striking poster. You see like little bits of like the African plains in the background and some birds and stuff like that. Really nice. Okay, so The Legend of Street Fighter, The Assassin's Fist. Third time lucky. The third Street Fighter film was very well received by the fans. So obviously we're at this stage now with the magazines where they're starting to show us more about the Street Fighter films, trying to get us to watch them and interact with it. Yes, it's the first feature film that portrays the essence of the video games. I didn't even know this film existed. Have you seen it? Let me know, you know. It says, delight in the details. It says, Assassin's Fist, there's a story about origins. It's not necessary to know the Street Fighter video games to understand its plot. Okay, so yeah, there we go, guys. I could go more into that, but, you know, I'd be here all day if you had me just reading every single word out of the magazines. The history of Capcom, massive smile on my face. The terror has a name, Resident Evil. Anybody who, I'm going to show it now, at the original PlayStation would remember Resident Evil. We've done the Resident Evil board game on the channel. Check that out, it's on the back catalogue, amongst other board game stuff. But yeah, and the scene I'm going to show in a minute. The first time I truly jumped in a video game on a PlayStation, you're walking down a corridor, and I could say spoiler free now, the original PlayStation was like from the 90s, and you'd be walking down this corridor, eerie music playing, and smash, the window goes in, these devil hounds, these devil dogs jump into the corridor, and I just dropped the controller, man, and I was just like... Okay, so there's the original PlayStation cover there, and the actual screenshot I'm talking about there, guys. Okay.
Wow.
Resident Evil was just brilliant. I mean, you can play it now, and the control system's a little bit clunky, to be fair. You have to press left and right to actually turn your whole body left or right and push up to walk, and, you know, newer Resident Evils have done it so much better. But for in the day, I know it's a Street Fighter show, and I'm really sorry, but I do love, like, Resident Evil. Okay. And the Mansion of Terror. Resident Evil offered the player an unprecedented experience. So yeah, again, you started off in a mansion as like a SWAT team. SWAT? I'm thinking about that. As a SWAT team in a mansion. And you were walking around basically exploring, and you were like, you know, you had to like avoid zombies and stuff like that. And that just goes into that there, the Mansions of Terror. Okay, and there is Elena again. And if you'd be as kind as show her figure, please, Mel. Thank you so much. Okay, so there is Elena in one of her striking poses. Okay, so should we try and get through a magazine without me either fluffing lines, butchering Japanese? Nah, it's not going to happen, is it really? Okay, so we have Charlie. There's Charlie. Okay, let's see what Charlie is all about. Issue 37. Okay, Charlie, soldier of vengeance, an honourable military man with a tragic destiny. Okay, interesting. Charlie Nash was a captain in the US Air Force who had an unbreakable sense of justice. He fought against corruption in the top ranks. He fought against Shadaloo. And even after death, he came back to fight one more time. And he says, I'm determined to do justice. So this is where your crimes end. Do your best, scum. Okay. So there is our first glimpse of Charlie. Okay. Another one, little star boxes there with a quote. I don't care if we were once allies. I have a goal and I'll kill you if you get in my way. So he's not a man to be messed with, is he?
Nope.
You wouldn't say.
Not.
Okay, so it says, did you say missing in action? Charlie was mentioned for the first time in Street Fighter 2. Guile. That was who he reminded me of straight away. Guile's motivating force to defeat M. Bison on the original Street Fighter 2 was to avenge Charlie's death. So again, with every one of these magazines we go through, we see all these little links between the characters. They're either brothers, or there's like a revenge mission, or they're in Shadaloo, or... It really opens up the lore, doesn't it? You know, the whole game. So I think when we've got through this and read all these magazines, and we got the whole set of the figures there, and we played some games, you can really appreciate how big Street Fighter was, can't you? Instead of just this, you know, this sort of just 2D fighter. Okay, so his date of birth is unknown. His birthplace is the United States of America. Some of our best friends in the world come from the good old USA. Justin. Okay, 1.86 metres in height, 93 kilograms in weight. Debut Street Fighter Alpha 1995. Okay. So there is a few more images of our boy Charlie. Okay, the Righteous Fighter. So his techniques and his abilities. In SFA trilogy, Street Fighter Alpha, I take it, Charlie is very similar to Guile. In Street Fighter 5, he's a very different character. So it'd be interesting to see what they've done with him, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he has the Sonic Boom, which is the cutting beam, is his main technique. The Judgment Sabre, the final sentence. The Moonsault Slash, the Aerial Guillotine. And the Crossfire Blitz is the chained attack. So there we go, a little view of some of his moves there. Okay. I wonder if anybody actually pauses the video to have a look at these. Or it's just me who's a sad who does that on various videos. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really interesting. That's a really interesting pose, a really interesting background for Charlie there. I really like that. I think that is quite striking, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, the less is more, with that little sort of blurred.
They're not like the other ones, are they? It's not like the other posters.
No, they're not. Normally the vertical, but just even the actual background artwork, that is really good. Impressed with that. Okay, so the Legends of Street Fighter Resurrection. The creators of the extraordinary Assassin's Fist, which we had in issue 36 of Elena, even, came back to develop a mini-series. Oh, okay, maybe this was like manga or something, like the live-action series based on Street Fighter and subtitled Assassin's Fist, released in 2014, was so successful both at the box office and among critics that it's confirmed its creators are the perfect team to film future adaptations of the franchise. Okay, yeah, so it's obviously it's a mini-series in there as well. Okay, it says a little bit about a fella called Joey Ansar, who was the creator of the series, obviously. Street Fighter Resurrection was made by the characters of the acclaimed Assassin's Fist. So, yeah, there we go. So, obviously, the Street Fighter franchise now spreads out to, like, a mini-series. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously stuff to take away. I'll be taking away myself, but obviously some of the viewers, some of the guys might take away and go and have a look at. And you know what, if you do, let me know, maybe not in a comment to this video, but in a future video, or hit me up on social media and just let me know, do you explore the lore and the extra stuff that Street Fighter has, Okay, so the history of Capcom. The ultimate 2D, Capcom PlayStation 3. Okay, so successor to the highly successful CPS 1 and CPS 2. The CPS 3 took 2D games to new heights. CPS are Capcom's arcade boards. So obviously they've made them a wee bit better, and the games have been better as a result of that. It says here polygons versus sprites, so we've obviously got into the 3D realm over the 2D, and everybody, or certainly regulars of this show, know my thoughts on that. I'm a 2D guy all day long. I mean, I've played like Street Fighter 4 in the 3D, and it's a good game. It is. I'll never say no to a game of Street Fighter any day of the week. I won't, but 2D for me. They went Magnificent 6. There were only ever 6 games in the CPS 3 catalogue, but they all became classics. Okay, so it just tells us about those there. And it tells us about Naomi. Naomi was, I think, the follow-on board to CPS 3. A lot of guys who bought Dreamcasts know about like the Naomi board. A lot of the arcade games, Crazy Taxi, stuff like that were made on Naomi and transferred over to the Dreamcast. That was how they went over so easy, because of the Naomi board. So it has got a big place in arcade history. Okay, so it just tells us about the CPS 3 games, a little bit about Naomi, and shows us a little sketch of our friend Charlie there. Cool. So if you'd be as kind, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, his hair a bit funky on this.
Yeah, I'm going to be happier to take him out the box, to be honest, and give him a spin. Okay, and our last issue of this particular month, guys, issue number 38, and it is Abel. Should we open up and see what's going on with Abel? Okay. Abel, the amnesiac judoka. I'm going to have fun with this issue already. A fighter with a big heart and a mysterious past. Abel was an expert judoka whose past was a mystery even to himself. He suffered some kind of amnesia that prevented him from remembering any details of his childhood or youth. Determined to find some answers, he ended up embarking on a revealing journey. So again, these magazines show all the background of each character, where they come from, what their motivations are, don't they?
Yeah.
So it says, you have good skills, but you must work before becoming a professional. So there is a quick image of Abel. Okay? So not a character that immediately jumps off the page to me, but let's find out more about him.
Yeah.
Okay. In combat, it is essential to analyse, foresee and react. These things can lead you to victory. It says, did you know? Much more than a copy. Abel took part in the New Challengers Quartet that made their debut in Street Fighter 4 in 2008. The development process for Abel was quite interesting, since from the start the idea was to create a young judoka with eccentric hairstyle and clothes. The idea was soon rejected, and the Abel that we all know started to take shape. So it's interesting. I think, is that Guile in the background there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I say Guile is known for like his big hair, like his military uniform and his US Air Force base. And this guy obviously wanted to maybe go with like a little bit of a, he says he's got loads of hair. Okay. And the bio guys, unknown date of birth, born in France, 1.98 metres, 85 kilograms, and he debuted in Street Fighter 4. I've probably fought him, but I don't remember him. Okay. So judoka. Abel's outfit is reminiscent of the clothes that judokas or martial arts fighters usually wear when they train. Okay. Techniques and abilities. Grab it while you can. Okay, so in order to make the most of Abel's skills, it's very important to reduce the distance between him and his rival as much as possible. He's an up-close and personal fighter, isn't he? And we see why now. His main technique is the wheel kick, destructive spin. Soulless, the berserker attack, again, up close and in your face. Tornado throw, for obvious reasons, got to be close to be able to throw an opponent. That's called the aerial shake. And breathless, the overwhelming tornado. Looks like it's cool. The F-15 move there. I think it is anyway. So that's Brock Lesnar's move in the WWE. Anybody let me know, but it's that kind of up on your shoulders and a spin, and you wouldn't want to be involved with that, would you?
Nope, definitely not.
Okay, so an interesting, very dynamic image of Abel there, guys. Okay. Okay, so the Legend of Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. The first animated Street Fighter displayed some amazing images. Now that, when I show the pictures in a minute, is what I'd watch. I'd watch that right now. It just looks like an anime.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, expanded the narrative background of the franchise. Domestic releases. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, had many releases on domestic formats. First, it was launched on VHS. Video. Then Laserdisc, DVD and Blu-ray. In the US, the movie suffered the scourge of censorship, something that happened relatively often with imported material. However, in 2006, a complete version of the film with the Japanese soundtrack Justin was released in the US of A. Do you have it? Have you seen it, mate? Let me know below, please, buddy. So there we go. So there is some of the shots there. And if you have a look closely, guys, at some of the screenshots, see what I mean about like the art style of this movie. It's something I'd just sit there and just watch all day long. I love stuff like that, I really do. The history of Capcom. Okay, the Blue Robot in 32 bits from Mega Man 8 to Mega Man 16. After a second golden age on 16-bit, Mega Man returned for his new incarnation on 32-bit. Okay, so Mega Man is a franchise I've said before is rock hard, a franchise I hardly ever play, and a franchise I'm useless at. There are many fans of Mega Man, and to you, I humbly applaud you. It's a really popular franchise, but just not for me, known for being really hard, okay? So there's some stuff there with Mega Man. There we go, okay, some of the artwork there. And a couple of screenshots to give you an idea of what we're talking about. Mega Man's basically a platformer, you know, from left to right, and the thing about it is like you defeat baddies at the end of every level, but then you can take on their powers. So you might, I think I've used this analogy before, you might have a baddie that like fires ice. So if you were to take over his power and you were to beat the baddie at the end of the next level is to fire ice up or fire, are you with me?
Yeah.
So it's very strategic as to what characters you pick to be able to go to like the next boss and stuff. I'd probably butcher the whole thing for you Mega Man players, but you know, hey ho. Sorry. Okay, the second Mega Man 10 trilogy. Capcom developed a new Mega Man X or Mega Man 10 trilogy for 32-bit consoles. So we're obviously talking, guys, like we've got a picture here of the PlayStation. And looking back, it just says a little bit about the series now it developed and stuff. So I shall show you that there. For any Mega Man fans in the house, and I'm sure there are many. And our little etching of Abel there. Okay, Mel, if you just be as kind for the last time to show the figure off there. Okay, so he's again going to be another one that's going to look better on the turntable than what he does in the box with the glare, doesn't he? So look, guys, we got to the end of another one. Yeah, so up to issue 38. This is going to run, I think we've got 60 issues, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we're now well and truly into the second half of the series. So look, guys, are you still enjoying it? Let me know your favourite character of this episode. Would it be Yun, Elena, Charlie or Abel? Have you fought as them? Have you fought against them? What do you think of the characters, etc.? Okay, listen, if you're new here, feel free to look back on the rest of the series. Leave comments, let us know how you feel about that. If you found us via retro circles, Capcom or obviously Fanhome or Streetfighter, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, hopefully word of mouth. You like what you see, have a little look here. Have a look through the back catalogue. There's over 300 videos, Mel, isn't there?
Yeah.
Of all kinds of eclectic stuff. If you like what you see, drop us a line, say hello. And if you feel like it, hit that subscribe button. If you don't, no pressure. Just enjoy the videos in the series, okay? For all you returning folks and big fans of this series, thank you as always. Really hope you're still enjoying the series and you've enjoyed this little show of the new minis and the new magazines, okay? So we shall see you next month for another episode. Melody, say bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.
See you later.